From Tally to Cali.
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up! Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Zaxby's.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
and Corey Clark.
Wake up! What's up, everybody? It's Wake Up Warchant. It's proudly presented by Zaxby's. Indescribably good! I had some Zaxby's earlier today, so all the technical issues that you folks don't even know existed have all been wiped and vanquished off of my memory because Zax sauce has inundated my taste buds and thus all my senses. I couldn't feel any better. Wrong. I could. Corey, can you talk and let us know you're there?
I am here. I actually crushed some Zaxby's this weekend myself.
My man, what'd you get?
Well, look, man, I'm boring. It's usually either the chicken fingers or the salad.
Yeah.
And I went with the chicken fingers again. I felt, you know what? Didn't need to be all, I wasn't going to just eat a bunch of roughage on Father's Day. It's my day.
It is.
So I went and got my fingers and got my Zax sauce. Let Brady eat the fries, and I just crushed the tenders.
Happy Dad's Day to everybody out there, especially you, Corey. Dad's Corner has been a real smash hit success on this podcast, which is part of the Warchant.com family. Use the promo code Warchant30 if you're not already a member of the ultimate Seminole sports source. 30 days, you can try it. No risk, no obligation. But you're not going to want to quit because we're here. All right, Corey, let's do a show. And, you be you, I'll be me, and this will work out just as well as it usually does. Talking to my friends who all work in different industries, and this was in the group text message on Slack or whatever on Friday. I'm just like, dude, working in sports right now, the news cycle is the stock market. And for Friday, it was bad. It was bleak. It was owning Enron stock and just watching it pretty much evaporate before your eyes, it felt like. Clemson, 23 players tested positive for COVID. I think on Friday we saw that Nick Watney, the golfer, withdrew from the PGA event out there in Hilton Head. He had symptoms on Friday morning. He got tested, and sure enough, he was positive. He had been tested prior to the event on Monday and was negative. Also, all the Major League Baseball teams closed their spring training facilities where players were able to go back and work out. They closed all of them. The Tampa Bay Lightning, I think, shut down their training facility. And the NHL is kind of getting their stuff in order. They're pretty much ahead of everybody in terms of returning to work. And then I think over the weekend, LSU, we saw somewhere in excess of 24 players in quarantine, which doesn't necessarily mean they tested positive. They just possibly were in contact with somebody, so they're in quarantine. Now, it just feels, I don't know if we're moving the goal sticks, the goal posts on all this, but it was testing. We can't be like we were in March when someone tests positive and freak out and shut everything down. Everybody expects positive tests to happen, and then all these positive tests happen, and everybody proceeds to freak out. And myself kind of included in terms of my viability as an employee for this great website. It hurt a little bit, man.
I think it's the volume of positive tests. It's not just that so many different sports or teams, the Phillies, the Lightning, LSU, Kansas State, Clemson, it's not just that they had people test positive. It was like 5 Phillies. I didn't even know they were working out. I didn't know baseball teams were doing that. And 5 Phillies, 8 members of the organization total test positive. Kansas State had over a dozen. Clemson, like you said, had 23. Are they licking each other? What are these people doing? And honestly, that's what I'm most curious about, because we did think this was going to happen. I don't think we thought it was going to happen to this degree so quickly, but that was probably naive of us, right? We've opened up everything back up where I live in Georgia and Florida, live in both places. They're kind of just, hey, whatever you want to do. It's not a stunner that cases have started to rise. But it is probably, those numbers are a little bit, I don't know, just panic-inducing. Because you're like, man, if they just got back, Clemson just got back on June 1st is when those players reported. And then whatever it was, 2 weeks later, over 20 of them have tested positive. So I think people are, hopefully what this does, maybe the only silver lining on it at all, is there can't be a college football player in the country that has a Twitter page that is paying attention at all, they can't understand how contagious this thing is if you're dumb about it. So if you want to play the season, you can't be going to parties with 40 people in an apartment. You can't be going to crowded night clubs. Or you can do all that. You have the freedom to do that, but you're probably not going to get to play a college football season. And the difference between college football, and I've said this a million times, and the professional sports, those guys are, a lot of them, that's their livelihood, obviously. They're millionaires. They want to make their money. They're okay to go to a bubble for 2 or 3 months and stay away from their family and not go out. And those numbers are going to be relatively small. Yes, there's going to be a few NBA players that get it, but they're going to be tested every day, and they're going to be in a bubble. College kids are going to be, theoretically in classrooms with people they don't know if they have it or not, and then going, I guess, to clubs and parties and raves. Are raves still a thing, Aslan? Is that what's happening here? Are people, sucking on pacifiers at 4:30 in the morning?
I mean, I think the Baton Rouge nightlife is only second to Berlin when you talk about clubs.
Yeah. So what I saw right before we started recording this was that the story in The Athletic about how Kansas State got it. And when all those kids came back, I guess they tested every one, and it was 0. And then a week later, it was like 2, then 4, then 8, then 14. And it was all, they traced it all back to a party they all went to. It's like, man, look, they have the freedom to do that. I don't want to tell these college kids, hey, man, don't go have fun. Go sit in your room by yourself. Go sit in your apartment by yourself and don't mingle with anyone. But that might be what the coaches have to tell them. Like, look, what would happen to Clemson if they had 22 guys test positive on a game week? I mean, they're going to have to forfeit 2 straight games probably. Well, it's Clemson. They probably could still win the ACC. But a normal team, they might have to forfeit. They would really struggle. It would be like the Music City Bowl for Florida State against Kentucky that year when half the team was watching from home. So that's what I think was the most eye-opening, just the most eye-opening aspect of this weekend was hopefully. And I'm just speaking about college football. The regular sports world, I really think will get it together because they can afford to. But college football, man, you're going to have to really tell these players, make them understand that if they catch this thing, they're out for 2 weeks. They also could give it to their teammate, and you don't know who you're mingling with at a party. You're in a crowded, confined space. That's how this thing gets spread.
Is everybody coughing? Is everyone sneezing? Like, if I
that's
saw
what I don't
cough,
understand.
I'm out. Gone. Peace. Later. Sorry.
Yeah. And so what I think will have to happen is Jimbo got them to sign a promise to play harder.
That's right.
Mike Norvell can get them to sign a promise to wear a mask. Just wear a mask for the good of the football team. But will that even matter if Boise State's kids aren't wearing a mask?
Yeah.
Or if NC State's kids aren't wearing a mask? There's going to have to be a lot of soul searching when it comes to how you combat this. But that's the biggest thing, Aslan. We see all these numbers, and I was texting. I think I was texting with you and Ira. Maybe it was Tim and Ira. I can't remember. But when you see all these numbers, the 2 things I want to know are how they're getting it. Because when you see 23 players test positive at Clemson, I think the natural inclination for people to believe is that, they must have gotten it while they were all working out together.
Yeah.
Or they were all on the football field together. I don't think I would say the vast majority, again, I'm going to go qualified, I'm not a doctor. The vast majority of these cases being spread and being infected aren't from running next to each other on a football field or standing next to each other outdoors in 90-degree heat on a football field. It's in confined spaces, in apartments playing Xbox, at a party, at a club, at a bar. Whatever they're doing when they're not on the football field is the dangerous part. So I guess they can't, but I think colleges would really benefit from at least letting somehow getting it out how these kids contracted it. How is it spreading? Or what are you guys doing as colleges? Did you just tell all these kids to come back? We're going to test you once. Now go have fun? Are there guidelines you're trying to give them so they don't get each other sick? And that's the other thing. Those are the 2 things. So I would like to know how they're getting it. And I also want to know what are the symptoms How many are asymptomatic? How many are pre-symptomatic? We understand most of these guys are in great shape. How is it affecting them?
Yeah.
Are any of these guys having to go to the hospital? For them, for a 20-year-old peak physical athlete, does it feel like a cold? Is it fatigue for a couple of days? Does it put them on their ass for 12 days? What are the symptoms? Because that's gonna be another blueprint we have to use going forward. If if this is sending kids to the hospital, then man, we're in real trouble. But if it's something where they're just fatigued, or they have a cough for 3 days, or they didn't even know they had it, well, maybe some other I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
We never had the conversation as a nation. I mean, you can't in a country this large and this fragmented, and that's nothing recently, but obviously recently it's a lot worse than it used to be. But obviously there was the whole sort of conversation of we can't keep the economy closed, we can't live in fear, yada yada. We have to open up, and not everybody was on board with it. I mean, like, will there be that point when it comes to college athletics where we talk about, yes, listen, we understand that it's out there. I mean, listen, when we opened the economy back up and people started going back to work, we weren't at 0%. We weren't anywhere near that. I mean, it didn't go away. Just because we all sat in our houses for 2 months doesn't mean this thing just died out and went away. I mean, like, will there be that? Can there be that sort of discussion or acceptance of, hey, we're at less than 1% hospitalization when it comes to kids in this age category. Obviously there's going to be some things that they're not going to be able to run physicals on guys and know whether or not they have a pre-existing condition. But if guys get past their physical and we realize the virus is out there and it's not having a large impact and affecting the quality of life of these kids, like, will there be that sort of conversation where we'll go ahead and we'll play this thing out and we realize what we're up against? Or is it just too difficult for college to get away with that because it's unpaid labor, they don't have a union, and et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, and it's also, really doesn't matter what happens. I mean, it does, but it doesn't matter if the tailback gets sick necessarily. Is he going to – because he will probably – the odds are greatly in his favor that he'll recover and be just fine. But maybe the person in his class won't, or the person that was at the party won't be. Yeah. So that it's a discussion that's going to have to keep being had. I wish we could figure out a way, or I wish we could know how it's happening, because if the Phillies, because I saw that John Hyman just reported that over 40 players tested positive in major league camps this past week, and again I didn't even know camps were going on. Because they don't have a deal. They're never going to play again. So what does it matter?
They've opened the facility, so if you want to come train and work out, you can, but it's not like organized team activities. Like, hey, Dunedin Blue Jays facilities open, Clearwater Phillies facilities open. If you want to come down here and get your reps in or whatever, it's available. And then, I think you said in the text message chain, there was no protocol. Like, when they opened this back up, Major League Baseball was like, okay, we're opening the facilities, and it's only for this amount of time, and you have to do this, and this. It was just like they didn't have that in place. It was like, yeah, we're open. Come on down.
Yeah, hey, you can use our facility, and with no protocols at all, apparently. And that's what I want to know is, how are these guys getting it? Are they getting it from sharing a baseball? That seems pretty dubious that you could get it that way. Maybe you could if you licked it, but are they coughing on each other? Are they driving in cars together? Are they living together? How are these guys giving it to each other on a football field and on a baseball field, or are they? Because again, the insinuation when you hear 40 Major League Baseball players tested positive for it, or a tennis player tested positive for it, or the football players tested positive for it, you feel the insinuation is that they gave it to each other doing football, playing football, practicing football. I don't think that's the case. So I wish I wish there would be more information when it comes to this about how these guys are getting it and what it feels like for them.
Right.
Just because you don't want to put 20-year-olds in real danger. And I think the numbers speak for themselves when it comes to the mortality rate of under 24. It's very, very, very low, but still, it's not zero.
Yeah.
And so colleges are going to have to be very, very stringent on the protocols, and you're gonna, I don't think you should. I don't like the thing that Ohio State did about, hey, you're
the Buckeye pledge.
Yeah, don't sue us. It's not that, but you're going to have to get these guys to be committed. Hopefully, be committed to they can't be in a bubble on a college campus, but they can try to isolate as much as possible if they want to play.
Well, I think the problem, twofold. I mean, to that point, you talk about, isolate yourself if you want to play. Yeah, like Marvin Wilson might do it. Tamorrion Terry might do it. Is Charlie Ward's son going to do it? I mean, I'm not trying to pick on Caleb or anything like that, but just a player at Oregon State that is not going to play in the NFL. Like, this is it for him. This is the end of the road for him. Like, is he going to want to do all these sacrifices just to finish out his last season as a college football player at Oregon State? I mean, like Marvin and Tamorrion Terry, these guys have a future to work for. Like, they'll make the sacrifice. This is business for them. They need to put another season on tape. I mean, Marvin probably really doesn't. I don't really think Terry needs to either. But, I mean, like, for those guys, like, yeah, if you come to Florida State, you go to Alabama, you go to Clemson to become an NFL football player. So you're willing to make the sacrifice, but not everybody on scholarship is going to make it that far. So the guy that's a fifth-year senior that's got no shot, is he really going to put himself in, the best situations all the time and be a total team player? And then second, I think, to your point about, we hear football players we think it's because they're doing football activities. I mean, that's the real problem, though, man. Is if they're getting it at a party or at a restaurant or something, it's like, well, man, if one of them has it, what are they going to do in August when they're hitting each other and they're spraying water bottles in each other's mouths? And, I mean, that's I think that's the biggest thing, for at least for me, that got amplified, was just that, listen, they're not even doing team activities like real football nuts and bolts stuff. So when they actually get to that point, that's what put the fear into me. But again, I mean, I'm not a doctor, man. I don't have a degree. I don't know how this is all going to work out.
Yeah, but again, don't you think the silver lining, I guess, is that it is
timing.
happening in June?
Yeah. But then again, I mean, what do we got? Like we're like, what, 30 days maybe away from, I think it's July 26th that they're going to start opening these things back up?
No, I think it's earlier than that. But, yeah, but mainly we're trying to get to August for all intents and purposes. We're trying to get to August. So you've got about 5 weeks to really figure out how this thing is spreading. And whether they share it with us or not, I guess it really doesn't matter. But I pray that Clemson is sharing it with every other college football team in America, how it spread on their campus, how it spread amongst their players. And Kansas State is doing the same thing, and LSU is doing the same thing, and Houston is doing the same thing. Contact trace it and let everybody know how it spread. And at least you can fight this thing with clear vision, because it seems like they just had all these kids come back, say, hey, we're going to test you all when you get here. Okay, 0 positives. Well, go out and have fun, guys. Welcome back. And maybe that didn't happen, but that's the optics of it, is that all of a sudden there's this huge outbreak. You have a third of the football team on Clemson with it. And I hope none of them are hospitalized. It might feel like a cold to them. They might not even know they have it. They might not feel anything at all. I think that's something we need to know too. But more than anything, we need to know how they got it. Because if they got it, if there's 6 guys that got it strictly from like standing next to each other and breathing hard after a sprint outside, well, yikes.
Yeah.
So, but we need to know that. And also, we all need to start hoping. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you are on. We're all hoping these numbers start plummeting because they've gone up.
Why would they? But why would they, though, man? I mean, we're all.
Well, I think again, I do think as much as people want to. I mean, it was eye opening for me. I've been to a couple restaurants. I've sat inside for 30 minutes away from people, but I've been inside. And I haven't worn masks. I don't go out.
You just told everybody to wear a mask, and you're telling me you're not wearing a mask?
Hey, that was my point. Now I am, because I was just I was watching the numbers. Anybody that listens to this show knows I pay a lot of attention to the numbers and the testing numbers. And the testing numbers are going through the roof. And people do need to realize that we're getting a lot of cases, but there are plenty of people I think that had it in March and April, obviously, that were never counted, because they just weren't tested. Well, we're testing a lot more people now. We have the ability to test. That is a good thing. But the bad news is that the numbers do go up the more you test. let's hopefully get to a point where they start going down. But I do think that even the people like me that were kind of hoping we were on the other side of it. And again, I wasn't willy-nilly. I wasn't just going out. I wasn't in any raves. I couldn't even find my pacifier, Aslan, or my glow-in-the-dark necklace. I couldn't do it. So I've been responsible because I have a son and I have a mom. So I have been responsible-ish, but I thought we were kind of on the other side of it.
We all
and this last, I don't know, 8 to 10 days.
Friday for me.
Well, but the numbers had already started scaring me. But then the sports world.
Yeah.
And then you're like, man, okay, all right, okay, I see it. Let's regroup. We know that these states are not going to shut back down. It is just not going to happen. But they might mandate masks inside. They might start making. I don't know what they're going to do, but I think college football players, hopefully more than anyone, but people will start adjusting at least until the numbers start going down again, and then we'll see where we are. But yeah, it wasn't a great weekend for the sports world. Except, hey, my man Daniel Berger finished third.
Yeah.
After winning last week, and I think Koepka was in the top 10 too. Another solid weekend for the FSU golf alums.
Let's go, Trey Jones.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, if your team plays their first game on September 5th, which Florida State is scheduled to, you get 8 hours per week over a 2-week span, practically July 13th to the 23rd. So all you can do is it's just film. You can do weights. You only get 8 hours per week. And then from the 24th to August 6th, you have 20 hours per week, no more than 4 hours per day of countable athletic-related activities.
And you're going to have to test a lot. And you are seeing that these programs apparently are being very transparent. They're testing a lot every, 3 or 4 days, I don't know. And they're contact tracing, it would appear, once they find out that somebody has tested. And I'm telling you, if they all thought that it was, I won't get it, no big deal, it's passed, it's fine, they've opened up the state again. Well, the kids in South Carolina, Clemson, figured it out. Oh, that's not true. Our whole team has it. And so, I know I'm being Pollyanna and I'm probably being naive and I'm being glass half full kind of guy, but maybe something like that, a Friday like that, with the golfer in the Lightning and the Phillies and every other college football program in the country with dozens of kids. Maybe that was the slap in the face that is needed for us to get right in July and make sure we can have a football season in September.
Boy,
that's what I'm hoping.
Hope so, man.
That's what I'm hoping.
Hope so.
Except, man, I know we're not having a baseball season.
Yeah, where are we on that? I can't even keep up. That's the biggest drama in the world.
Yeah, no. I mean, they're not. Who knows? Who knows? Well, they're apparently going to be mandated to play 50 games by the commissioner.
Yeah. We have some solace here as I'm looking at Twitter. We'll try to roughly segue to something sports-related so we just don't totally tell you what we don't know and how we don't have doctorate degrees. Although, I mean, Corey, you're only a few credits shy, right?
Yeah, like I said, I was at Johns Hopkins, probably 2.5 years, I guess.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I met Shanna, and we had to
head over heels.
You head over heels. You got to do what you got to do. So I left there. 6 credits short, I think is what it turned out to be. I've always made a deal with myself that I'd go back too, but once I got in the lucrative field of sports writing, I'm not going to go back and be a doctor. Are you kidding me?
Jeez. All right, Corey, who is the program that has the most quarterback pressures amongst their returning players on defense?
Well, I know that because I saw it, but
dag-nabbit.
Sorry,
what if I were
man,
all right, well, there's no fun.
Why don't you do it? Why don't you just ask the listener?
It's Florida State. It's crazy. I don't know. Does Marvin have 229 of the 240 pressures that are coming back ahead of such luminaries as Georgia, Virginia, and Wyoming? That's impressive.
Yeah, no, it is impressive. They have the most. I don't know if you got that from Aslan. What are you eating, by the way? An apple?
No, I had my glasses. I took my glasses off. I closed them. I mean, do I sound like I'm not?
Yeah, I thought you were chomping down on an apple.
No, not me.
Not me. But yeah, so the university, the program with the most quarterback pressures, not sacks. It's a whole different stat, everyone. But QB pressures, the one with the most returning QB pressures is Florida State, like Aslan said, as he eats that apple, ahead of Georgia and Wyoming. And no, Corey Durden I think Corey Durden had a good amount of pressures. I think Robinson, J-Rob, had a lot of pressures too. So I think that's where you're getting. Marvin probably had the most of that group, but yeah, there aren't many teams that return that much experience, good experience on the defensive line. Maybe
like this
none.
Defensive line. Pardon? I'm done eating.
I said
I'm not eating anything. I promise I'm not eating anything.
Okay, all right. Sounds like you are.
Well, that's not good. We've been recording for like 45 minutes.
By the way, I was listening to what podcast was I listening to? Where the guy that I really like, Daniel Jeremiah, I think.
Yeah, Move the Sticks
from the NFL Network.
Yeah.
He was talking about Miami and their defensive end, Russo.
He was on the Russillo podcast. He was talking
That's what it was.
Up a lot. I was scared.
That guy's like a top 5 pick.
Yeah, that's what he's saying, man.
But he's not the kid from Temple, right? That's another kid.
Correct, yeah. Russo, he was a redshirt freshman. So last year he kind of burst on the scene. I think he wreaked plenty of havoc on Florida State last year.
Oh, well, how could that be? I don't believe you. I was at that game. I seem to remember Florida State just moving up and down the field against the Miami defense. So, yeah, Miami has apparently the best defensive end in the country. And they just got the guy from Temple to transfer in, and De'Aaron King. I'm with you, Jay. Caller Jay. I'm with you. I don't understand why that kid would have transferred to Miami. So he could be in Russo's shadow.
There he is. Let me see if I pull up his stats. I mean, I want to pull up the pressures, but let's see what Russo did against us. Let's see here. Florida State, pass rush only 79.4. That was his second highest of the season.
Oh, well, okay. What was his highest?
Central Michigan, 83.1.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, they're probably similar offensive lines.
Yeah. I mean, sadly. I mean, I know you're being sarcastic, but...
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I was being depressed.
Oh, man. What should I do by position? Yeah, hey, while I'm finding this, why don't you maybe pull up your top 40? Maybe we should start going over that because I've got a lot of guys. I'm very top-heavy in the top 40 with guys on the defensive line. I feel really good about the defensive line. I like them a lot, man. I like them a lot.
You want me to get my top 40?
Yeah, we got to talk about
You didn't tell me that
something.
in the
I didn't.
Pre-production meeting. All right, let me find that.
Should I go to that?
You just want mine, though.
Yeah, why not?
We're not going to tell what the real one is.
Right, yeah, because people can see that on the website. They got to pay for some of this stuff, and you got to keep this whole thing afloat for a little.
Hey, by the way, so who won the all-time best Florida State team draft?
I imagine you did. You were doubled up on, I think, Gene and Keith Cottrell. Is it Cottrell or Cottrell? Cottrell.
I think it's Cottrell.
Cottrell. I apologize.
Yeah, it's either way. It's tomato, you know what I mean?
Right. So pretty sure they were second place behind you. You have a cult, man, and I mean that like in an endearing way. I think people just see your name on something, and they're like, all right, I'm going with him. And especially because my name is on, I brought Ira down, I think, for all the goodwill that Ira has in the community. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you see my name, and it just kind of cheapens it, but I'll pull it up. Let's see here. Yeah, you and Tom Lang, 36.4% of the vote. Second place, Gene and Keith Cottrell, 28.4%.
Wow, that's still too close.
And then myself and Ira, 26.4%. The fans, 8.8%. But several people who took the time to actually type out their response seem to be in favor of Ira and myself. So we appreciate them. Big Cleat 42, one of those guys.
Right. Well, they were wrong, but hey, good job, Big Cleat. There's no way that team loses.
Big Cleat literally goes and breaks everything down by position. We were dead last in receivers and quarterbacks. So he basically did everybody's team 1 through 4 because there's 4 teams and graded them based on position. Like quarterback, number 1, he put Gene's team because they had Charlie. And then you guys at 2 with Jameis. The fans had Winky, and then we had Casey Weldon.
That's subjective, though, right?
Right.
That's
correct.
subjective.
I
think we got. I feel like
we were number 1 in 4 categories. Meanwhile, you and Tom were number one in only 2 categories.
But that's one guy's opinion. But who were your running backs?
He knows every player that's ever played practically. He's you, but on steroids, Big Cleat 42.
Yeah, but still, who were your running backs?
Dalvin Cook and who cares?
Right. Well, we had Warwick Dunn and Cam Akers, and our fullback was William Floyd. Your backfield isn't better than that.
He put fullback separately.
Either way.
He pulled our fullback ahead of your fullback.
Well, that's preposterous too, and I have no idea who your fullback was. He wasn't better than bar none, I can tell you that. And we had I think out of our 24 picks,
we had Edgar Bennett.
Come on, man. I love Edgar Bennett. Versatile.
We had Dalvin Cook and Greg Allen, by the way.
Okay. We had work done in Cam Akers.
Well, yeah, Cook, you're sitting here talking about
I love Greg Allen.
You wrote an ode to Dalvin Cook last week. You wrote an ode to him.
I love Greg Allen. Dalvin and Warwick Dunn are very equal. I'd even give you the edge with Dalvin Cook. But Cam Akers is better than Greg Allen. So I think that moves us ahead of you.
Okay.
But anyway, I think we had 14 first-round picks. We had two Hall of Famers. We had a number 1 overall pick. We had a Heisman winner. Come on, man. Come on. We had Derek Brooks. It's like Derek Brooks and Sam Cowart were our linebackers.
And Buster Davis.
The best athlete named Buster in Florida State history.
That's right.
Our defensive line was, Jernigan, Renard Wilson, Bjorn Werner.
Bunkley.
Come on. Bunkley. So 3 first-rounders and Timmy Jernigan. It's incredible. Incredible what we did. Incredible what Tom and I did. It was something. I would encourage anyone to go back and watch that. Was it 6 hours that we recorded that, Aslan?
2.5.
How long was that show?
2.5.
Yeah, go back and watch it all when you get a free 2.5 hours. I'm not being facetious. It is good. It's good. It's highly entertaining. And what else are you doing? So don't watch. It's not as depressing as anything else you might be watching. So go watch that. You'll enjoy it. I do have my top 40 now. If we're ready to talk about that.
That was great. Way to stall. That was fantastic. So we left off at 31, I think, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh, so we're going. Okay, so we're going from 30 to 21.
Yeah.
Even though tomorrow we're running, or today I should say, we're running the latest installment, which gets us down to number 11.
All right, well, let's do that then. I didn't realize that I looked in the on deck circle and I didn't see that story percolating. So
I know, because somebody's going to write it after he's done recording this.
All right, sorry, my fault. Well, we didn't go over our middle segment, so I'll run through mine real quick. 30, I got Jerrion Jones, a transfer from Mississippi State, followed by Warren Thompson at 29, Cyrus Fagan at 28, Dennis Briggs Jr. 27th, James Blackman 26th, Brady Scott 25th, Jaleel McCray 24th, Jaden Lars Woodby 23rd, Miko Dotson 22nd, Cam McDonald 21st.
We're in the same boat here for the most part. I got Pokey at 30, got Raymond Woody the third, not the second, the third at 29. I got Purselley at 28, Fagan at 27, Jaden Lars Woodby at 26, Cam McDonald at 25, Big Baby at 24. See, you notice I got Purselley and Big Baby.
I like it.
I think obviously one of them is going to be important, so I'm hedging my bets. Got Kalen at 23. I also have Miko Dotson at 22.
Look at that.
And then Robert Cooper at 21.
See, yeah, we're not on the same page on that.
I should probably have Cooper a little higher, but I do think he's the third best interior guy they got. And on passing downs, he's probably not going to be playing a whole lot. So I think Durden and Marvin are obviously much more important in the middle. But I think we had Cam McDonald, Woodby, Dotson. We were close to each other on those anyway.
Can't believe you got my boy Kalen Laburn that high, man.
Well, I know there's a chance he could be a top 10-ish type guy, but I really believe in Corbin. I think Corbin's going to get the first chance to start. I'm not completely convinced that Norvell is going to do a two-back. We're going to give each guy 15 carries a game, because last year at Memphis, right, the one guy ran for 1,500 yards. So if he has a guy that he really likes, he'll ride him a little bit. So I'm not totally convinced that Laborn's going to get. I mean, he'll get more carries than he did than he did with Cam, but I don't know that he's getting 12 a game. He might get 5 a game, 6 a game. And how important is a running back that gets 6 carries a game? That's my thought process there. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he has 1,200 yards and 16 touchdowns.
By the way, on pressures, Durden was number 1 on the team with 45. Janaris second with 36. Marvin third with 26.
How many sacks did Durden have? Does it show?
Yeah, 7, team high.
All right. So he had 45 pressures?
Yep.
That's a lot. We got to get that.
Hurries, 10 hits, 7 sacks.
And what have we ever figured out the distinction between a hurry and a pressure?
That a pressure is overall. That's all that stuff included. A hurry is a pressure, like a bourbon is a whiskey, or a whiskey is a bourbon.
Gotcha. I understood.
Yeah. So
okay.
Pressures equal hurries, hits, sacks. So those
I feel
are
like hurries and hits. If you hit a guy, then that was obviously a hurry.
Yeah, but you actually touched him though. You made contact. Hurry's like you blew the guy up. Quarterback sees that, he already throws it out of his hand before he can touch him, and it's incomplete pass. So that's a win for the defense. But there's also ones where you're struggling for a little bit and you get a hand on the quarterback, maybe affect the
So he had 28 hurries and 7 sacks.
Correct.
So 1 out of 4. Basically, he was sacking the guy when he got close. Let's get that down to 1 out of 3.
Okay.
Let's get up to about 9 or 10 sacks. I think Durden can do it. Now, he's kind of a rare dude. I don't know where he's going to play. He's 300 pounds or close to it, but has a little quickness to him and obviously some strength. I think him and Marvin. That's quite a tandem. Maybe hopefully they'll all stay out of Hopefully they just won't infect each other, and we'll be able to watch a football season.
All right. Let's get to it then. As we speak about pressures, number 20 on my list is Janarius Robinson.
Okay.
I like Janarius.
Hey, how about I go after that?
Sure.
My 20th is DJ Matthews.
Whew. Yeah, this is good. There's a lot of no way, man. No way. Not that low, right?
Where do you think DJ should be?
I mean, you'll find out sooner than later.
Okay, all right, sorry.
That's
go ahead.
fair. I think he's one guy I think that I might have gone a little too overboard with. There's only one football. I think the run game, I like Laburn. You like Corbin. We both like Terry. I don't know where that leaves DJ. I still think DJ. I think DJ starts in it. I think he starts, man. Like, when you go 3 receiver set, I think he still starts. And I think he kind of reminds me a little of Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell is the guy that really profited last season for Memphis as a running back. They have Gainwell's obviously a little bit bigger, but then again, who isn't bigger than DJ? But he's more of a shimmy sort of slippery guy. And I just think, DJ, I think for some reason, I just think that the jet sweeps are going to hit better this time around. It's going to hit differently, as the kids would say.
Okay.
So that's what I say. 19th, I got Amari Gaynor. Amari Gaynor is number 4 in terms of pressures from last season. He had 25. He had 16 hurries, 4 hits, 5 sacks. I can't believe that. I would have taken the under. If you would have said 4.5 over-under Amari Gaynor sacks last year, I would have said under. Oh, he actually had 5. He's my number 19.
My number 19 is Keyshawn Hilton.
Okay.
I went back-to-back with receivers there.
Love Keyshawn. Love me some Keyshawn. I think he's someone who I probably grossly underrated if everything goes according to plan. But again, injuries, man. I just feel weird putting so much expectation on guys that have coming off pretty serious injuries. Number 18, one of your guys, Corey's guys, Akeem Dent, 18.
Mm-hmm. I got Brady Scott at 18.
Yeah,
you had him, right? Didn't you list him in the last group?
Yeah, I kind of hedged myself. I put Maurice Smith at 33. I don't know if Brady doesn't end up starting. I just think because Dante's going to be a good one guard spot. I think we obviously know it's going to be Purselley or Bavion at center. Seems like Darius Washington probably left tackle. Devontae Love Taylor at right tackle. If all the starters, even though I just said there's going to be a 2-man race at center, I still think whoever's at the other guard spot is probably on the least firm ground when it comes to holding on to that job. So, that's why I would probably Brady Scott of that starting 5 is the most tenuous, I would say. And we got the most data on him, too. That's the thing. I don't want to steal Ira's stuff, but Ira's one of those guys that, he says really smart stuff, and I steal it, and I try to pass it off as my own. But just, Brady Scott really hasn't changed the dynamics of the way that offensive line, blocks. It seems like we kind of felt out Landon Dickerson once he kind of left the starting lineup. But then again, I was like, Louisville game, in 18.
Yeah.
Thanks for your service. Who do you got for 16 or 17 rather, Corey?
Emmett Rice.
Oh, so do I. Look at that.
There we go. See, my Ricer's going to have. I like the way he finished the season. I think he's a sideline to sideline guy. Get a rangy dude, can make some plays, athletic. and maybe kind of came into his own a little bit at the end of last season. That's what I'm hoping for. It's what we've all been waiting on. So I was pretty happy with the way he played, and I think he's going to be a big part of the defense. Might lead him in tackling.
Ricer was the 22nd graded player on defense for Florida State last year, out of 46.
What are you trying to say?
I'm with you. I put him at the same spot with you. I'm just trying to give some context of what happened last year. If people watch the videos that are with you, Gene, Ira, and Jeff Cameron, I try to provide some stats from last season in terms of what a player did, so you can maybe get some reasoning into what we did. But he's all upside. I think his best football is definitely ahead of him, and that's why I have him at number 17. I like that.
Okay, great.
And 16, Devontae Love-Taylor, the transfer.
My 16 is Akeem Dent.
Oh, okay.
I think he'll probably end up locking down the other starting corner spot, and I'm high on that dude. I'll say it until I jinx him, but I'm high on that dude. I think he's going to be a really good player here.
Akeem Dent is in everybody's top 25. That's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, Gene Williams, myself, and Corey, obviously. Who you got at 15, right, big guy?
I got Devontae Love-Taylor.
Look at that. Yep. I got Pokey.
Hey, great minds. Great mind. You got Pokey there, huh?
Yeah, man. I think he's going to be starting wide receiver. I think he's going to probably catch the second most passes on the team.
Okay.
Who do you think is going to catch the second most passes on the team? Not Pokey. Or do you think
Cam McDonald.
Ooh. And where do you have him ranked?
Lower. He's back at 25.
Come on, Corey.
No, I really don't know. I think probably Hilton. If you had to twist my arm, probably Hilton. But we don't know how healthy he's going to be. Although he's way ahead of schedule. Apparently way ahead of schedule.
Yeah. I know you don't like doing these things. You don't like freezing cold takes, exposed, and all that kind of stuff, and I get it. I like this stuff, and I don't think most people are going to remember it, but I like it. I'm going to try to remember this stuff, and hopefully people remember this stuff as well. And we can have fun about it. And if I'm wrong and you're right, I think it'll be hilarious. You can needle me about these sort of things.
I can't wait. I can't wait to do it. When I go back and listen to it 5 months from now. I do that a lot. Have I ever told you that I go back and listen to our shows? Give it about 3 months to kind of simmer, and then I'll go back and listen to see how much I've grown. If we're talking about the same things, I like to self-scout.
I went back and listened to our show driving back from Omaha, like 10 minutes of it the other day. Yeah,
was it the Brady part?
Yeah, the Brady pooting.
Oh, Stephanie just brought that up the other day. Somehow that she's never laughed so hard listening to a podcast than she did then when we had to roll down the windows. Boy, I still go back to that smell. That smell never really leaves you.
It doesn't.
Just the memory of it. All right, so who do you got? Where are we at, 13?
14. Why are you trying to jump ahead of everything?
Oh, sorry. I got J-Rob.
Okay, that's good. I mean, we just went over the fact that he's got the second most
say no more.
Pressures.
Very important. Very important guy. If he takes a similar leap to his senior year as he did to his junior year, he could be a top 6 or 7 guy on this team.
All right, I like that. 14, Darius Washington. I mean, just fight. Battle, Darius, right? I mean, just give a damn.
Right.
Give a damn and get in somebody's way.
And I think he will.
And don't be easy about it. Be like Walter Payton, die hard. Or never die easy, rather. Number 13, I've got Hamza Nasruddin.
Oh, that's pretty low. I've got, but I say that, I've got Corey Durden.
Okay.
So I think I should have Durden a little higher because, the trenches, it's a big deal. He's a very good player. I probably should have. Looking at my list now, I probably should have moved him up a handful of spots, but that's where he is.
Ira has Corey Durden ranked the lowest. He has him at number 18. Myself and Jeff Cameron both had Hamza at 13.
Okay, all right.
I mean, unbelievable talent, unbelievable athletic ability. One of the lone shining parts of that defense last season. But again, the injury thing. Just hopefully. Maybe by October he's hitting a stride. I had a schedule, yada, yada. We'll see. It's not your body, everybody.
Right.
12, Andrew Purselley.
Okay.
Be the anchor. Be my poor man's Brian Stork. Be my rich man's Ryan McMahon. Just fight. Get in somebody's way. Give a damn.
I've got Amari Gaynor.
Okay.
I think he's one of those guys, just his ability, well, I shouldn't say his ability, his potential his size, his speed, his quickness. I think he's a guy, if it comes together, could be a really, really impact player on this team, a real impact player.
Where did you have Andrew Purselley at? Sorry to throw that at you. 27th?
28, looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the notes here, it says that Corey has Andrew Purselley ranked the lowest at 27, and then it says
Maybe I do, yeah.
Well, then it says that
right.
me, Corey, and Jeff all have him at number 12. But, I mean, how could we have both at
Right.
How can you be there? But anyhow, look at Jeff and I. Maybe we're one and the same. Yeah. Number 11. Who do you got, Corey?
I got Keyshawn Corbin.
Ooh.
And probably just because I kind
of you think he's going to be the lead running back in this offense and you got him outside the top 10?
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to think of what's going to make this team. The importance in the sense of what's going to make have this team go from a 6 or a 7-win team to a 9-win team. I don't necessarily know that Corbin's going to be the guy. I think he's a very good player. Is he that much better than Kalen? I don't know. If he only runs for 700 yards or 560 yards, does that mean Florida State can't win 9 games? I don't think that's accurate. I'm not saying he's just a plug-and-play guy, but I trust their system enough that whoever the running back is, the starting running back, is going to have some production. And, I just think there's, mainly on defense, I think there's more important positions that they need to be better at. That's all.
Can you think of any Florida State team where you would have had both running backs or 2 running backs in a postseason top 40 and you'd have them both in the top 15?
What do you mean? Say that again?
Like, has there ever been a season where you would have said that 2 of Florida State's most important players were also in the top 15? Or not, 2 running backs were part of their 15 most important players. Did I clarify that or no?
I think so. No, I don't. No. I'm trying to think like maybe back the.
I mean, like 93, William Floyd and Warwick Dunn both weren't like top 15 most important players to Florida State.
No, I mean, I think it could be like Dunn and Preston maybe back when they were 95, 96 with Rock Preston.
Okay.
Maybe like Chaney and Minor, but no, I don't think so. I was even trying to think of like Freeman and Wilder or Carlos and Dalvin. No, it's just again there's not that many at bats for these guys to both make enormous impacts on a talented team, and I think this team's pretty talented. Not dynasty talented, but I think it's pretty talented. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm thinking of like Auburn had Kerryon Johnson and I forgot who else the other.
Well, they had Cadillac Williams and Ronnie Brown, right?
Oh yeah, everyone remembers that one. I mean, I was trying to show off.
Sorry. Yeah, I guess you were.
And I failed.
They had Bo Jackson and Brent Fullwood and Tommy Agee.
Look at this guy.
They had William Andrews and Lionel James.
Let's go.
What? Don't test me on Auburn trivia. I wish this was Wake Up War Eagle. That's all I want to talk about is Auburn. Caw. Yeah. Is that what a War Eagle sounds like?
I think.
Yeah.
Thud when it runs into the. Did you see when it flew into the press box a few years ago? Like 8 years ago?
I know I'm not supposed to laugh at that, but
come on. It's fine. It lived.
Yeah. I just think about the people in the press box seeing it coming towards them and like he's going to veer off, right? Like there's no way he's flying at me. Yeah. And then like right at the last minute like holding up your hands like as it crashes into the window.
It's like when you see like a foul ball hit the net at a game and someone like freaks out. It's like, yeah, even though you see that net,
you're always going to react. Always, yeah.
And then the last one outside the top 10 for me, number 11, I got Joshua Kendo.
Yep. See, now he snuck into my top 10, but not because of anything he's done, but just because of if he was good, how important that would be. Yeah. It's not really. It's yeah. So.
Listen,
he's very vital. I think Josh Kendo is going to be very vital to the 2020 season.
I just named Amari Gaynor, Hamza Nasruddin, and Joshua Kendo, and there's 10 other players that I think are going to be more important than those players, 2 of which were 5-star recruits. Mm-hmm. So, call me the negative guy all you want, and I do like my top 10. Might be one over, and there's probably 2 guys I overvalued. But 2 out of 10 is fine. Actually, 3. What am I talking about? 3 out of
all
10 is
right,
not bad.
it's all
70% on the nose. 70% on the nose. You think your top 10 is going to be better than my top 10? You think maybe can we do that at least, Corey? Can we do like every 2 weeks we'll revisit our personal top 10s and we can just do an ongoing battle if there's actual football being played?
Yeah, if you remember to do that, I'm all for it. Hey, I'm all about accountability. I can admit when I say dumb things or write dumb things. I think I'm better at that than almost every journalist. I think I'm better I'm using the term journalist loosely. But I feel like I can admit when I'm wrong or I write something dumb. I'm pretty good about that. So if it comes back that, Kalen is in the Heisman race,
That's right.
and I had him at 23, I'll own that.
He's my guy. That's the one guy I'm hitching. You need to firm up your Warren Thompson candidacy because you said him first. And we get the question every 3 weeks. It feels like on Renegade Express where somebody will say, hey, who's the guy that we're sleeping on? That's an underclassman or just who's being slept on. Period. And you called Warren Thompson out at least a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. So I will let you definitely pat yourself on the back if that does come to fruition.
Yeah, but do I get to since I have him at like 34 on my list? You know what I mean?
You kind of hedge yourself there. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. As long as if Chuba comes to be the chosen one, as long as I get credit on that. And Kalen. I think Kalen's another guy I'm hitching my wagon to. That'll make me look really like Nostradamus-esque.
Nostradamus. I like how you pronounce that.
Nostra? Are you a Nostra guy?
I've always been a Nostra guy. Nostradamus. It's like too close to Nostradamus.
Nothing I do is ever good for you, man.
I know. It's late. I still got a top 40 thing to do.
Yeah. Hey, well, think about this. Every time we get done doing this show, I still have to edit it. So.
Oh no, I wasn't saying it.
Sure you weren't. Yeah.
Hey, I feel sorry for me. I was saying it more like, I'm running out of steam.
Hey, how the Leonard Hamilton story work? I saw that on the website. How's my guy doing, man?
Well, no, I just basically, Ira has that other podcast, the Black and Mild podcast.
We don't have to advertise it. It's fine.
Sure, it's fine. With Adrian Crawford and Corey Simon.
Yeah, they got Corey Simon on there now, man. It's great.
And Leonard Hamilton was on there, and they, most of it was obviously talking about the current climate in America and race relations in America, and him being a 71-year-old black man from North Carolina that was born in segregated North Carolina and went to segregated schools and has worked his way up and almost to the top of that profession, very, very close. He's an elite coach. He's got a unique perspective. So I thought it was really interesting. But then, I obviously wasn't going to write about that angle on Warchant, but he was asked about how long he plans to do it, and I thought his answer was pretty enlightening, so I wrote about it. And everyone should become a subscriber to Warchant and read it.
That's it. That's all you're going to give me on that.
Yep, that's right. No, he just said that he's as long as he can remember what bench to go to, and he can see the scoreboard, he's going to want to keep doing it. And it's funny because he's never had a better program. Like at 71, he's got the program that he's worked his life for, and why what happened in March was such a frustration and a disappointment was maybe that was the team. But he's certainly got, with the 5 stars that are coming in every year, it seems like, with winning the ACC, Sweet 16s, all these NCAA tournaments, he's got the program that he's been working his life for, and it's really cool. So yeah, of course he's going to want to. It'd be weird if he's just like, yeah, I'm done with this. I want to retire now. It's like, man, it would have made more sense to retire in 15, not now. Now he's got this thing rolling. That'd been like Bobby Bowden retiring after the '97 season. Or no, the 90 season or the 91 season. It's like, no, he's finally got this thing rolling. He wants to enjoy it.
The cool thing is, and we don't talk about it enough because I don't venture into the basketball waters because I'm not nearly as articulate about it as I am with football, but I'm not even really that articulate about football.
Don't say that.
The cool thing, man, is he's really created an identity, and we always use the word culture when it comes to sports, and it's the word I hate using, but there's an identity with this team and what he's created with this program. And I do wonder when the time comes for him to step down or he decides that he wants to step down, I wonder, I hope that we're at a point where it is more recognized and known and appreciated. I think we heard Jay Billis really talking up the program a lot this past season, which was really cool. Dallin Cuff's been a believer in Leonard Hamilton, what he's been doing on the ACC network. I wonder if Florida State will be one of those teams I remember the Lakers and Pat Riley got their divorce or whatever. They hired Mike Dunleavy, and it was 2 years of Mike Dunleavy. He just doesn't live up to. He's not what Showtime is all about. The Baltimore Ravens are always going to hire a defensive-minded head coach. They're going to have that gritty sort of edge. When the Ravens and the Steelers play, it's black and blue football. I do wonder who is out there that could live up or has that same sort of DNA that Leonard has. But no one probably does because of what he had to live through and what he endured in his journey to where he got to this point, man. I mean, him building this program, I think, developed the identity of what he wanted this to ultimately become more so than anything as well. So I just wonder who's going to be able to fill those shoes. Maybe not the biggest shoes. I mean, it's not Krzyzewski, but they're really well-crafted, Italian designer shoes. Who can fit into them? It's something to ponder.
Well, whenever he decides to go, it's going to be a more attractive job than it was when he took it over. And that's kind of what your role is, right? Speaking of Father's Day, you just want to be and I'm not, but you just want to be a good dad. I just want to be a good dad to Brady, and I want him to be a better dad than I was. I know that's
good luck.
Hokey.
Good luck.
I know, yeah, right, sure, yeah. Just try not to scream at your kid 3 times a day. But that's kind of what I want. I think my dad wanted me to be a better dad than him, and I think I am in the sense that I see my kid more. I'm not getting in my whole backstory.
He's not even here to defend himself, Corey. Come on, man.
I know, but it was anyway. I won't even get into that. Divorces were different back then, but I see my son a lot, and but my dad was great. I loved my dad, but I just wanted to be better than he was, and I want Brady to be better than me, and that would be a great. If he thinks I'm a good dad, which I don't know, we'll have him on the show and he can answer that one time. But I hope he shows it to me by being a dad like I was a dad, but better. The good things that I do, harness that. The bad things that I do, kick that to the curb. Yeah. And I think Leonard, that's a long, probably convoluted, dumb way of comparing it to this, but I think he took that program, and no matter when he retires, I think he's going to feel good about the fact that it is going to be such an appealing job that somebody could, if he doesn't win a national championship, it could be set up for somebody to come in and contend for national championships or ACC championships. That wasn't the case 20 years ago, no. But it is now. I think if Leonard decided, you know what, I'm done, I'm retiring tomorrow, I think Florida State would have a lot of good candidates to choose from.
Yeah,
that's all. That's all I'm saying.
I just wonder if they're, will they be cut from that same sort of cloth to be able to carry on, what he's created? But probably not.
Well, yeah, you never know. Think about what a Duke fan is thinking.
Yeah.
When that dude's been there since Reagan was in office. Maybe Jimmy Carter.
They're going to get Capel. They're going to get Capel, right? Jeff Capel.
I guess, but is he Krzyzewski? Who knows? It's all a crapshoot, my man. It's all a crapshoot.
As is this show usually. I think we'll probably do another live thing. I don't know what day. Maybe we'll do Tuesday. Live.
I think Tuesday works the best for me if we're going to do one on.
Good.
We're going to do another one this week.
Yeah, and then it'll be live Tuesday, and then it'll be the Wednesday podcast, and then we'll do Renegade Express on Friday, and hopefully by Friday, everybody in Clemson's healthy, everyone's healthy and feeling good, and we'll be feeling a lot better about everything, hopefully. So, I won't bum you out too much. And on a high note, Corey, looking forward to you hammering out that 21 through 30.
Yeah.
Breakdown.
No, I think it's 11 through 20, buddy.
11 through 20. I am terrible.
It's all right, man. It's all right. I love you. I love everyone that listens to this show. I love Brady. I loved my dad. I guess I still love him. And I hope everybody had a wonderful Father's Day. And if you have a dad that's still around, I hope you got to give him a big old hug or at least a fist bump.
Roll the credits.
How was that?
Sorry. You've got a lot on your mind. We'll put a lot on your table. Introducing the new Zaxby's Family Packs at Zaxby's. Get your choice of 20 chicken fingers or 30 boneless wings. Plus crinkle fries, Texas toast, and 4 dipping sauces. It's enough to feed a family of 4, and it's only $24.99. So stop by your neighborhood Zaxby's drive-thru or order ahead on the Zaxby's app. When your whole crew is hungry, we've got the answer. The new Zaxby's Family Packs for just $24.99. Only at Zaxby's.